that's when I can feel Jesus again. He's calling me from the right side. This happened in 1999, 24 years ago. I was at the time living in Toronto. I was married. I had a small healing practice using Senjutsu, Reiki, metamorphic technique. It was small, but very successful. You know, my clients, I didn't have, 200 clients. Maybe I have 15 or 20, but they were all very happy, and they were repeat clients. And so I was comfortable. The marriage was fine. Everything was good in my life, but I started to feel this sense of complete dissatisfaction with my own life and with the results of my life. I was a practicing Buddhist. I was very devoted. And the reason I was a practicing Buddhist because I needed the religious experience, but I didn't know how to get there. I needed to find out who I am. I needed to find out if there was a God, what is the nature of God? I had so many unanswered questions that I didn't know how to live my life. I really didn't. And I was entirely dissatisfied with it. Now I can see how everything was planned, because now I know that I planned my entire life experience. I planned the perfect storm to bring me to this point where I didn't know how to live my life and I couldn't stand it. So I just surrendered. I remember that the night where everything happened, I was experiencing such a pain that I let go of thinking, because all my thinking was useless. It was leading to pain. So I let go of thinking, and I started to be, I didn't know it at the time, but I started to be guided by spirit. And I started to have all these beautiful mystical experiences. I started to wake up at 3:00 on the dot. And this one night I wake up suddenly. And I feel how from within the body, there is like an invitation. It's unbelievable how we feel this. But it was like an invitation to roll the body and sit down in meditation, like I was doing so very often. I was used to simply sit, because that's a request that I got through spirit, that if spirit wanted me to do one thing, it was to sit and do nothing, which is the Zazen meditation. And so, having let go of all my thoughts, all I had, it was this desire to just sit and do nothing. And that's what I do. At the time, I started to feel Jesus as a vibration on the back of my head, in between my ears, the base of the skull. It's like a band, and there is a vibration that starts to be felt in there, and it's unmistakable to me. But this night, there was a different type of vibration, and it started at the center of my heart. It was the sweetest feeling you could ever feel, and it started to grow and envelop my whole being, and that energy was entirely motherly. It was like the core energy, the core of the feminine energy of the universe. I just knew that it was the presence of Mother Mary. And that's when I had a type of life review, because I saw myself from the moment I was born up to that very moment, that second. As I see my life, the body was growing. I'm growing mentally, but I'm seen as a child, as a babe, all the time. And this was telling me, I didn't know how to live in this world. I was literally an innocent child of God. Every regret that I had about my life was like taken away. It was like washed out. It was like wrinkled out of my heart, so my heart could open up. The physiological aspects of being alive in a body start to slow down. My breath disappears. It comes to a stop. It starts to slow down. It becomes so subtle, it stops. I could hear the blood rushing through my veins. That stopped too. Everything is coming into alignment with spirit. I had no thought. I was simply observing. I could feel no sensations, no warmth, nothing. And that's when I think I suddenly popped out of the body. Suddenly, the perspective changed from watching everything from within to watching it all from without. Boom, just like that, right? As this happens, I start leaving the planet. My consciousness starts to leave the planet, and I can see the Earth rotating, you know. And as I see it rotating, I realize that it's not love that makes the world go around, but belief. Once I withdraw the belief from a world, the world must disappear. So I understand this. I see people like leaving the planet as it spins out. I see like little figures leaving the planet, and I understand that the timeline that I'm living is the timeline of the year, of course, for the year 2012, which is the day out of time, 21st, right? So I see all this, and I can feel Jesus, and I know the vibration. I know how it feels. He never appeared to me as a body. He never showed me a body like we can see the face. Or he was always light, always light. And the reason is because he wants to teach me. I am light. I'm not the body, right? I am dreaming of being in the body, but I'm not the body. So he never shows up as a figure to me, right? Just pure light and vibration. It's like I'm in the middle of a sky, right? I'm a total peace. And that's when I can feel Jesus again. He's calling me from my right side. I turn around. My attention turns around. There is no body, but there is an attention that's focused. And so I focus my attention there, and I see this huge portal. It's like the Arc of Triumph in France. Exactly like that, the golden and very ornamented with jewels of all kinds, and it's like really impressive, and it's huge, this thing. And Jesus is calling me to come to the other side. And when I say Jesus calling me, what I know what is happening, and visually I see a giant ball of light on the other side of the portal of death, and me on this side, and light coming through the portal and reaching me with the message, come with me. And I think, and that's when I'm thinking, if I go through the portal of death, this is the association I have in my mind, I'm gonna die. And then Jesus says, trust me, come with me. And that's when I noticed that if he's communicating with me, I see his light coming through the portal. If he's able to be here, he's coming through the portal, and he's able to be over there as well. That means, and the moment I didn't even finish that thought, that realization, Alvaro, I didn't finish it, and I went just like an arrow through that portal. And the moment I passed right underneath it, I realized it's a thought. Death is a thought and nothing else but a thought. It's no different than any other thought, except for the meaning we give it, right? And so it has no power over me. I remember I'm an immortal soul. And the moment I did that, I just exploded into everything that God is, into joy. It was beyond joy. It's just unbelievable. I cannot describe it. And so now I'm back into remembering who I am. I'm flying home, and then suddenly I see like a barrier, like when we come to the train track and the barrier comes down, something like that comes down, and I instantly return to the same one. Right away in my mind, I choose the same one. Number one, all the changes that we see around us is the 3D world crumbling. Yeah, the same way as you and I and so many other near-death experiences have experienced their world crumbling, and they grown into something greater. That's exactly what we are all doing right now on this planet. And so I want to come back to the same timeline, because I know every time I heal, you heal. because we are joined, we are connected, we are not separate beings. And so whatever you experience, I come to experience. We never left heaven. I come to experience in at a lesser degree, but I come to experience it as well. So I wanted to come back to the same body. Why I didn't need to experience this in another childhood. The moment I make that decision, I go and I find myself in front of what you could describe like Star Trek kind of a panel in front of me, and that what I have in front of me is the blueprint for my life, the one that I just left, and all the experiences I had. So I cleaned that up and I start bringing in challenges. That's why we, in general, are experiencing so many challenges. These are all the false beliefs that we are working through in order to go beyond what we think we are and closer to the light that we truly are. Once I finished writing the script, I felt terror pulling me down back into the body. So many people experience the tunnel when they leave the body. I experienced it coming back down. And so I knew that what that was pulling me back down into this low level of vibration is there's two fears, two terrors, I call them. The fear of being entirely alone and the fear of being entirely destitute. And that's exactly what I'm experiencing here. When I landed back into the body, I had no past. I was the Holy Son of God, really walking on earth, being here but not up here. I was enlightened. 3 weeks after Jesus appeared to me one more time, at the end of these 3 weeks, laying down in bed, I was totally awake, and there was a portrait of Jesus on that bedroom where I was. It was at a friend's place. I was homeless at the time, and so out of this portrait, I start to feel the vibration. I start to feel the hum and the light, and I have this experience where Jesus asked me 3 questions. The first question is, would you look for God and only God? Would you bring everybody to heaven with you? Which means seeing everybody as innocent, just as I am. It's impossible to enter heaven if I don't see you as innocent. And the third question was if I would accept myself as Christ, my true and only identity as Christ. To me, Christ is not a religious figure. To me, Christ is the first light, the first creation of God. That is Christ. That is what you are. That is what I am. I answer yes to those 3 questions, and I see on my forehead, like in my immediate field of vision, but like on my forehead, I see the number 365. And then, it disappears. It comes in and out in a flash. Jesus starts to withdraw, and I go, okay, I have 1 year to fulfill this promise. I try to fulfill the promise I made to Jesus, and then for a birthday, I get as a gift a book, and the book is A Course in Miracles. And the moment I open the Course in Miracles, I see it has 365 lessons. So that's what Jesus is telling me, right? So he's leaving me crumbs in a way, right? For me to follow. It's not, and the reason he's giving me crumbs and not a grand vision for the future is because I'm here to learn how to follow guidance, right? And so I am to be like a little child. I need to be told that I need to put my socks on before I put my shoes. Right? So I'm not supposed to bring whatever it is that I learned about life into action, because everything I learned about life was wrong. It was based on a limited person. It is through the study and the practice of A Course in Miracles that I'm healing my mind, so the heart can shine. Really, that's all it is. It's just changing my mind about who I am. Your life is guided by the hand of love. My life has been created by love. It's our thoughts that interfere and doesn't allow us to see that. But life itself is leading us to love. So we can, knowing this, we can rest in the present moment and start communicating with spirit. There is no greater gift that we have that this point of communication with spirit in our heart. And it comes in many ways. Spirit never stops guiding us, never stops loving us. It doesn't matter how hard it gets, it doesn't matter how painful it gets, love will see us through it because we are love. And so my message is that, there is a point in your heart where the truth resides. Be still and know you are one with God right here and right now. You don't need to die to find that out because you will never die. You are eternal love. So all that is within your heart. Be still and find that out.